Let's do it.
Let's do it.
We are live and kicking. KiKi Maroon, what's up?
Hi.
Thank you for joining me. This is awesome.
Thank
We've never
you.
done anything like this.
Mm-mm. No, I've never done anything like this in general. Like, I don't. Yeah, this is new. Fucking
Really? You've not done anybody's podcast or any of that stuff since we got locked down?
No, people don't ask me to do shit.
Really?
I think because I'm always like doing a lot of shit that people think I'm too busy. Because I've had people say that before. Of like, well, let me know if you're ever free. And I'm like, no, I'm free right now.
As much as you do for everybody else, no one is bothered to ask you.
No, but to be fair, I haven't asked them, so maybe that's the thing. I need to like ask them to be on their stuff.
Well, you didn't ask me to do this, did you?
No, I appreciate you asking me.
Yeah. So if you give people work and you help people out, you would think that they would return the favor. You would think that at some point folks would reach out and maybe do the same thing. You know, this is a people business.
You would think. I mean, I don't want to steal this. It was totally a tweet, but I was like, fuck yeah. Like, my shit list is growing right now because, like, the amount of people who have, like, who's checking in with me? Who am I checking in with? Like, I'm going to fucking remember that shit.
Are you, you like Santa Claus? You're like Quarantine Claus? You're making a list. All right, this bitch was naughty. All right, this some bitch.
Okay, so I was kind of joking, but, like, for real, I do have a list going. So...
Who's on the list?
I'm not gonna tell you who's on the list, but I am gonna say it's not as shitty as it sounds. It's not as shitty. So
sounds pretty shitty.
No, it's not. I have a quarantine journal, right? And it's really really good for me because like I got all this shit going on in my head. I think we all do right now.
Yeah.
It's such an extreme situation, and so like it started off really positive. It still is. Not the situation, the journal. So like okay. The best way I can explain it is like I only have two options right now. Like, cause I'm already like always balancing mental health shit like when things are fine. So I'm like, I can spiral into like depression and like not leave my bed and cry and want to kill myself. Or I can do like everything that I need to do to like take care of stuff. Like I have to meditate. I have to like eat well. I have to exercise. I have to step outside and like do like things like that. I have to reach out to people and like connect with people. Like there's shit that I didn't have time for before that I have to do to keep this shit straight.
Right.
And so I'm like keeping track of everything now where I'm like, when am I happy right now? When am I not thinking about all this crazy shit that's going on? Like when I'm listening to certain podcasts or when I'm reading a book, like what is like feeding my soul right now? I'm keeping track of all of that because I feel like if it's like saving me right now, then I should implement those things. I should make those things important when everything's fine. I need to recognize these things.
So are you just journaling about like your experience, or are you just writing down people that don't call?
Well, the first one is a positive one. I wasn't getting to that one yet.
Are you gonna read me your journal? Because I'm so fucking pumped about this. I've never had a girl read me her diary before.
That's weird.
What's that?
Weird.
Well, I know. I thought you were going. I was like, oh shit, we're about to share journals.
No, maybe I don't know. But like
I don't have a journal. I'm just
like it's straight up like I'm bullet points of like when am I not like thinking about the chaos and like worried or scared or like just like down because I haven't left my fucking room, And so some of the things are like a little bit obvious, like when I'm filming my shows. We're doing the pajama party, right? When I'm filming the shows.
Well, now real quick, hold on. Tell people what the pajama party is.
The Pajama Party Lounge is, so I do variety shows normally. It's stand-up comedy, showgirls, burlesque, circus acts, all that stuff. And so since we can't do them right now, we're doing these Zoom shows where we have the different performers in different windows, and it's like a really cheesy Pee-wee Playhouse style thing where I'm like, welcome to the pajama party! And so one person does an act, and they're really, really silly because we can't play music because copyright.
Right.
So we can't play music. We can't actually do burlesque because then we're adult entertainment. We can get, it can get shut down. So
really?
Oh, yeah. So it's been like we're getting creative. I had like a stripping Barbie, and I was like, "Here's your burlesque act," and I was throwing her in the air, and I was like, "She's our aerialist. She's our circus act for the night."
Now, does she have tassels on? Because I know in burlesque you got to have the tassels on.
Yeah, she
Oh,
had.
she did.
And then I got this guy.
We're gonna get to see. Look, hey, what's up, John? By the way, Kiki, I have chat, so if I acknowledge people, don't freak out.
So this is my boyfriend, Dr. Money Rockstar. He's what's keeping me sane during this time.
Really? Because he doesn't look very sane. You're talking to a puppet, Kiki. That's not very sane.
Hey, look, Barry, who's married. Some of us are by ourselves right now. Okay.
This just made me snort in front of everybody.
Friend, this is Dr.
Oh my God.
Rockstar. Okay, he's a doctor and a rock star. So everything I've ever wanted.
He's the perfect man for you.
Yeah,
And he only talks when you want him to. He's literally the perfect fucking man.
True story.
Yeah, that's not crazy at all. No, but that's cool. So he's part of the act. Because I caught one of them online. I think I caught the first one online, and he started the show, right? Like he's kind of the host. Yeah.
Yeah, he's helping out, carrying the load. You know, it's getting real hard. So like, but like I couldn't do a regular burlesque act because it's normally it's like stripping and stuff, and it ends with the pasties on the tassels. And so like we were being silly, and I was like, do take this off, and then I like dropped under the screen and just yelled out body double, and then it was his turn.
That is fucking great. That is fucking outstanding.
So that's the kind of shit
cool.
I'm doing right now.
How is the reception been for what you're doing online, like all the online stuff you're doing? Because I know, look, for those that don't know, Walt just joined us. Eric Resendez goes, "What did I just start watching?" He's all the puppets.
Can I see it or no?
No, I need to figure that out. That's the only thing I haven't figured out yet is how you can see the chat. But basically, like the software I use, it combines the YouTube chat, the Facebook chat, and Twitch all into one. So I get a message from wherever, right? But like AR Platinum has joined, John has joined, Eric Resendez and Walt. And tell people what you do that don't know what you do. Because when I put the message up, I was like, she's a stripping clown and a burlesque star and a stand-up comic. She fucking does everything. Runs her own shows like you. So tell people what you do, because they're just looking at this going, what the fuck is going on right now?
Sorry. I didn't know if that was about what we were doing.
No, it's okay.
So I'm a stand-up comic. I do burlesque. That's actually how I got into comedy, was doing burlesque at first, because you usually have comedians that will come on in between the acts, or the host. Our very first host I ever brought on was, oh my God, Danny Rios. So Danny,
wow, yeah.
Yeah, Danny was the host for one of the burlesque shows, and so he was like, "Oh, if y'all want to come out, there's like fuzz from the puppet. I go to this open mic. We do this thing at Sherlock's. You can come out and meet more comics." And I was like, oh, "Okay, that sounds great." So I went to my first open mic, and I was like, "This is amazing." First of all, because I didn't know what open mics were. And also I didn't realize like, oh, this is what I'm doing. Cause I just would always fuck with the audience when I was hosting the burlesque shows. It was a lot of like, we intro the girls, but then it's like, oh, did you like that? Oh, I bet you were really into that. It's just fucking with them while you're waiting for things to happen.
Crowd work. It's crowd work, right?
I didn't know that that's what I was doing. So then I got really into comedy and started doing that. And now I also produce the show. So I produce a circus event. It's an international circus festival. I have had, I guess, a monthly show at the House of Blues Houston and House of Blues Dallas. I have a podcast. I've got this puppet.
You have two podcasts, right? Did you have one or two? Because I know you had Clown Interrupted, and then I thought you had something else.
I do. I have two. I have Clown Interrupted, which is my definitely, obviously it's not for everybody, because people are like, let me listen. I'm like, you're not gonna like it. You're gonna hate it. It sucks. But like,
it's about sobriety, though, right?
Yeah, it's because I don't drink, so I speak to other comedians, burlesque performers, circus people, musicians, basically like party scene people. I've done like 5,000 air quotes this whole conversation. I talk to a lot of people in party scenes who don't drink. about like why don't they drink, what's their story, how do they quit drinking, like what crazy shit led to that, and all of that stuff. And then I have one that's just for my Patreon. It's called the Showgirl Road Girl podcast. And
Okay.
so yeah, so that's why I don't really promote that one as often because it's not one you can like check out publicly unless you're part of my Patreon.
Right.
And that one was really ridiculous because it was just whenever we were going to the different shows in different cities. I mean, I got a car full of showgirls, so we would just turn on the microphone and just start talking shit, and almost got ran off the road by an 18-wheeler. So that was caught on the podcast. Also, we hit a bird once on the highway. That was also caught on the podcast.
I hit an owl before in a truck, so yeah.
How big was it? Owls are big.
Fucking big. I thought it was gonna bust through the windshield. I used to sell timeshares in Conroe, and there was this. Yeah, it was a fucking weird job. And I was driving to work one morning, and this fucking owl. I guess it was probably sick of the wife owl or some shit, and it was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go kill myself. I'm gonna fly into traffic." And just because I was late and I'm hauling ass, next thing I know, just boom, and this fucking owl explodes off my windshield. And I couldn't go back and check on him because I was late and my boss was a dick. So
no, it didn't matter. I promise you, he's dead.
Like yeah, exactly, I was going too fast.
Check on an owl that you.
If he was wise, he wouldn't have fucking flew into a truck. Is how I look at it. So fuck that. The stereotypes aren't true, right?
Oh my god.
Now I could imagine that an all-female burlesque performer podcast. I bet you guys are filthier than most dudes.
That's that's actually part of it.
Yeah.
Because it's just for the patrons, which I honestly, I mean, I love them so much, but I don't have a huge Patreon. There's not like hundreds of people on that. I think I will probably about 25 or so, which is wonderful. Good. Oh no, it's wonderful. I'm so grateful to them. They help support the show, and especially right now with everything going on. But yeah, it's not like, a lot of podcasts have, hundreds or thousands of patrons. So because it's a small group of people, you can tell when the girls don't want to say something. And I'm like, it's fine. No one's going to hear this anyway.
No one gives a fuck. Just say it. Oh yeah. And then of course.
Yeah, it gets pretty dirty. I think all girls talk like that.
Are fucking filthy. You females act like you don't talk about.
I don't act like.
Oh, please. I grew up. Okay. My mom and my sister raised me. I was raised by two women. Mm-hmm. So my sister and all her friends, they're 4 years older than me, fucking filthy.
Do you want me to apologize? What do you want from me?
No, I'm just saying, like, most dudes don't know that if you didn't grow up around women and you're not going to be privy to the conversations that take place when four girls go spend the night at their best friend's house and stay up all night doing each other's hair and talking shit about all the dudes that they either had sex with or want to have sex with or, shouldn't have had sex with or... Yeah. And it's because guys are like, "Did you fuck?" Yeah. Cool. You want to play Xbox? That's it. That's literally like all of our.
No, we're talking about angles and yeah.
Wait. Time out. Whoa. What angles do I need to know about? My wife is really going to be glad I did this podcast now. What angles should I be using?
Think about like how many times, like what are like all the cliches about like, women are like this, guys are like this, like that women like talk your ear off, right? You guys hate that, but when we're talking about sex, we're still talking that much. We're still going into every little detail. It's just like, that's what you do. But it's awesome. It's so good for me because my showgirls are so fucking funny, and yeah, they're filthy. They're dirty, dirty whores. And so like it's great though because it's like constantly material, and then I can go on stage and talk about these stories. And so they're giving me tags they're not comedians, but just the way that they are, like I'm getting tags left and right because they're so dirty.
Right. Oh, I can only imagine. I fucking look. John was like, "It's learning time, boys." See, you meant angles of a conversation. You didn't mean physical angles of sex.
Physical angles.
Oh, you meant physical angles?
Yeah, I found out.
Can you fucking educate me and John apparently? Because John's the only one that's got his notebook out.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna. This is not about educating. I'm just. So the last conversation
Oh
we had
no, it is.
was so like I have a bad back, and so we were talking about like throwing your back out, and somebody jokingly said that's why you shouldn't. Sorry, it's different because you're not a girl I'm talking to.
Well, it's just you and me. There's.
So she was like, "That's what you get for always getting those pile drivers." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And so then she kind of acted it out, and I was like, "Oh shit, no, that was how it happened."
The fuck is a pile driver?
Like,
Are you on? You're on your. Is this like? Do you have to have the couch involved or the bed? Like you're on the floor, he's standing.
no, well, he's kind of standing. I'm laying down, and he's holding your legs, but he's kind of standing and going downwards. I really don't
Okay,
have to draw it, maybe.
draw it real quick.
In my
Do a
quarantine.
stick figure. Yeah, do it in your journal. That's just fucking yeah. Because I'm like pile driver. I know the wrestling move, but that would be weird. That's really just like that would be a 69, and you would face away from him, and then he would jam your neck into your spine, and no one wants that when they're having sex.
I already
That's
messed.
the only pile driver I know about. Are you gonna draw it?
I'm trying to.
This is so great. My wife is gonna be like, "What in the fuck are you doing?" I'm gonna be like, "I'm pile driving, babe." She'd be like, "No, get off me." Oh, this is so great. First
So
of all,
apparently that's
I
about your back.
so you fucking think that's not that looks like you got in a car wreck and he's trying to save you. Right there. He's literally pulling you out of a car. Okay, so that's the pile driver. Yeah, look, I'm 45. My wife's 44. There's no pile driving going on in Casa del Laminac. I can promise. If any legs go above anyone's head, they're fucking angry. They're like, nope, nope. It's just not. No, that's pile driving is a young man's game and a young woman's game, obviously.
Well, apparently not because either I'm too old for it or it's not something anybody should do. Because it was not. It was. I mean, it was good, but then it was really not good.
Right. That's fucking hilarious that you're like,
I
yeah, I hurt my back.
I didn't know that's what it was called though.
What, pile driving?
Yeah, apparently.
Nah, I didn't. Well, obviously, I didn't know anything about that. Are you drinking water with lemon?
Mm-hmm.
Good for you. Look at
Got so
that.
many lemons. I'm putting lemon in everything right now. I don't
So
know that it really helps, but I'm telling myself it does.
I asked you before we went on what is because you're an entertainer. That's literally all you do. And I just want to tell you this, and I don't think I've ever told you this, and I should have told you this a long time ago, but I admire what you've done because you're very much self-made and no one gave you anything, and it's rare that you see someone go from zero to do. I mean, you've toured the world doing burlesque and comedy, and you do shows that are wildly. You make a living doing what you love, and there's so many people that can't do that, and they don't have the capacity or the opportunity, and you have both. And I just want to say that as an entertainer, I really admire the fact that you've been able to do what you do. It's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. I
Now,
appreciate it.
how did it start? Because I mean, burlesque isn't something that a lot of people. I mean, I didn't really know a lot about burlesque until I met you, and then did some of your shows. And I mean, I love the shows because the audiences are amazing. If you guys have never been to a burlesque show, absolutely go to one of Kiki's shows. It's the most. I tell people like this because comics have told you it's literally the best show to perform on in the
They're
city, hands down.
but like I try to explain to people though because I've had people like it's it's not just burlesque shows in general. Like I'm not trying to be like I don't know conceited, but like it's specifically that audience because there are wonderful burlesque shows, but they're still not the same. It really just depends. I have spent 10 years now like cultivating that audience, and so like we have regulars that come to every single show, and they just they it's almost like the first three rows are like
Hmm.
setting the precedent. They train the rest of the audience of like anybody that's like a first timer, like they get the vibe of it, the feel like, you're supposed to cheer during this part, you shut the fuck up during this part. Like it's almost like they're making everybody else understand how to act at the show. And so
Yep.
we don't have hecklers really. Like they're the best.
When I did your shows, I fully expected. Eric Elman said, "Dude, it's so much fun," and it absolutely is. What's
The
that?
Eric Aliman?
Yeah, Aleman. Did I say it wrong?
Yeah.
Aleman. Okay,
Mhm.
yeah, but he said it's so much fun. I when I was doing I was nervous about going and doing your show because they said the crowds. It's because it's so much, and I was like, I'm gonna get heckled. And you know me, I don't. I just want to do my jokes and get off the stage. I don't like getting heckled.
Mean screaming and heckling. Yeah.
But it's amazing. They're so trained, and I don't know if it's just because it's such a positive thing all the way around. Like there's all kinds of people in burlesque. Whether it's you're it, and I don't know how to say this right without sounding like a dick, but
Body positive.
it's body positive, but it's not just that. It's not just about the women to me. It's the people that perform, like the different guys and girls that do the different variety acts. They're not your average everyday person, right? They may be a little more socially awkward or different, but they're accepted when they're on that stage. It's the most amazing thing. It really is.
Yeah, it's really amazing. I think I spent a lot of time like studying like business stuff because of like you said, I didn't get handed many anything, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm constantly like just researching every kind of like hustle and like just trying to learn everything about business. And so I've learned a lot. And it's weird like to hindsight be like, oh, that's what I was doing. I didn't know I was doing that thing. But they talk about like culture, like the trickle down culture of like the person who's running the thing. Like if you're not positive, if you're not, trusting your employees and doing all that stuff, then they're not going to do that with the people that are under them. And so like the person in charge has to be very aware of how they're acting and what they're presenting because that goes all the way down and that's what's going to lead to success or not. And I think, I mean, I know I'm a very positive person and like I wait at the front before doors open. We're at the front so we can hug everybody when they come in and like, oh my God, thank you for coming. And it's genuine. Like I'm so grateful to every single person that walks in that door because they're the reason I get to do this.
Mm-hmm.
This work so hard to make this like to have the opportunity for this to be your living. So I get to live my dream because they paid that $20. So I love every single person that comes in that door. They've given me my life. So it's completely genuine. We're hugging everybody. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Every single person that comes in. And so I think that puts them in like this mindset from the second they walk in. They know like they're appreciative, we're happy, we're super positive, then they're super positive. So anything that happens on stage, they're all about like it just creates this energy of like, oh my God, we're here to have a good time. And like
That's it.
everything's awesome.
It is
Mm-hmm.
amazing. And John Rothgen, I guess, I hope I'm saying that right, John. If not, I apologize. But he said, where can we get info for the show after all this is over? So, where can people go? Because I guarantee you, a lot of people think they know what burlesque is, but I guarantee you, they think it's the old school, just a chick comes out in a boa, and that's it. But it's so much more than that. It's so much
Yeah.
more than that. So tell John and everybody else where they can go and get info that wants to see it.
You can just follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'm way more active on Instagram right now. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I also have my website, kikimaroon.com, that has links to like everything right now. So that's usually where it is. We definitely always announce things, and I do the shows at the House of Blues. So the second stuff's announced, they are shooting everything out as well. But yeah, if you follow me at KiKi Maroon, I have them out there.
And I have her social media that'll pop up every minute or two, John, so you can see that as well. But it's if you don't know how to spell Kiki. Um, the stripping clown thing. Where the fuck did that come from? What the fuck? I've always wanted to ask you why a stripping clown.
Because I
By the way,
I
Andy Huggins is checking in, so
oh,
you're big
Andy.
time.
Oh,
He
I
said, "Hey
love it.
Kiki, yeah, Andy's the best."
So yeah, stripping clown. Basically, so way before I did any of this, I was a costume designer. That's what I went to school for. That's what I thought I was going to spend my life doing was making costumes for theaters. And so I made some outfits for different burlesque performers in Austin because at the time there wasn't anything going on in Houston. I didn't even really know about burlesque. And there was this girl named Trisha who was a waitress at a bar I used to go to all the time. And she was like, "Hey, we're going to do this burlesque show. Do you want to make costumes for it?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's what I do. That'd be fun." And she's like, "Well, do you want to do an act?" And I was like, I don't. I don't know how to do anything. Like, because I've always said, like, I don't have any talent. I can't sing. I can't dance. At the time, I had not been on stage, so I definitely didn't feel like I had no like sense of how to use a microphone. I didn't know how to do anything. And so she was like, "No, no, it's fine. It's fine. You just go on stage and take your clothes off." And I'm like, "No,
Fuck.
that's, that doesn't sound right at all." um, so then it was just kind of with a joke where I was like, "Okay, well, I can be a clown. That way, if I trip, which I'm going to, and I did a bunch of
Are you
times."
clumsy?
Yes, yes. So I was like, okay, if I trip, it was on purpose. If my makeup is jacked up, it's on purpose. If like anything that I messed up, I could be like, it's fine, I'm a clown. So that was the whole reason was because
That's
I
the
didn't have
origin.
any talent. So I just,
So
yeah.
did you work now? Because you say stripping clown, but you've never actually gotten nude, right? It's always tassels and a bikini
Yeah.
bottom or something like that.
Yeah, burlesque stripping is not like, yeah, it's a different kind. It's like you end with like tassels and bottoms for sure.
Right, right, right. So
So,
have you ever had anybody come up to you after a show and be like, "Hey, you wanna strip for real?"
yeah, like everybody.
Oh my fucking
And every
god!
single one thinks that he's the first one to say it. They're like, "Oh, do you have like private shows afterwards?" Or blah, blah, blah.
You're like, "No, motherfucker. This is show business. I'm not a stripper. I'm a stripping clown. There's a big fucking difference."
Yeah,
It's
but
it
it's
it.
good because it's especially like for first date stuff. It's a good filter because if like halfway through, I mean, anyway through the first one, they're like, "So, how long before I get a private show?" I'm like, "And we're done." Like it's just a fast thing to be
Scene.
like, and yeah, no,
You're a
no,
piece of shit, so I'm out.
and you think you're clever and you're not.
No, and not even close.
Mm-mm.
So now you still design all your own costumes, right?
Mm-hmm. Sorry,
Do
as
you
of right
do? No, you're good. You do everything, right? You design yours, you design the other girls, you design like you do all of the or most of them.
lots of them, yeah.
Yeah.
I have a group of showgirls that kind of like my chorus line. I do all of their costumes also. And then there's a couple like Honeymoon Pie, who I love so much. She's another local performer. I'll help her out. But besides that, I don't do costume commissions anymore because it's so much. Because I've got the four showgirls and my own stuff, and also trying to plan the shows. So I'm trying to delegate, but it's hard
It's
because I'm
hard.
also a control freak.
Yes. It's
I'm trying.
it is so hard when you own a business because I was a serial entrepreneur for years. And the hardest thing to do because you know how you want something done. You know exactly how it and if you do it, you know it'll be done exactly the way you wanted it done. And the worst thing to do is to turn over control to somebody and be like, I'm gonna have to be okay with how they do it as long as it
Yep.
gets done. That is so
Yeah.
difficult.
It's
Now,
it's it's so hard. But I'm getting really good at it because I've learned like where I'm at is great. I'm very grateful. Where I want to be, it's impossible for me to do everything. And so I'm
yeah,
kind of in this space where like I either have to learn to delegate or accept that I'm not like I'm where I'm gonna be. And I don't want this one. So I have to do it. And I'm not gonna say who, but it was a really good lesson. There is a performer who is super famous Fancy Pants, who is known for being like very same way, controlling about everything. And so I was looking at different social media, and then I clicked on her Facebook banner, and just looking at what's going on, and saw like it was a screen cap of her phone, and at the bottom was still like the what do you call the slideshow, your album,
uh
not
huh.
anything bad or anything, but it was just a screen cap from her phone. Everything else so like polished and professional. And it's like that's what happens when you can't like let someone else do it. You make mistakes like that when
Yeah.
you're at a certain level, you shouldn't be like it was pretty sloppy. Like she had like really janky selfies and stuff at the bottom. Like it was so
That was
it's
not
a
good.
lesson of like you have to let go sometimes.
I'm gonna come back to this because I think that's gonna lead me to something you went through, which I watched a whole special on Netflix on Tony Robbins. So I want to ask you about that experience because I was fascinated by that. Did you see the Netflix special?
Oh, I did, but it was a while ago before I went to go see him.
Okay. Well, let's just do that. But I want to come back because at some point I have to ask you because you mentioned one of your employees, I guess, Honey Moon Pie.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah. One of my
I
shows.
want to I want to I want to find out about the names in burlesque. Like, did you guys steal that from drag queens or did drag queens steal that from burlesque? We're gonna get into that in a minute, but I want to know about the Tony Robbins thing because the Netflix special that I watched, I always thought this dude was like full of shit. I always thought it was very cultish,
Mm-hmm.
and so I would watch from a distance and be like, yeah, I don't really fuck with that. I don't know. That seems I don't know. I didn't know what to think. I was judgy, I guess. But then
Mm-hmm.
I watched that special and I was like, okay, maybe he is onto something. You went to one,
Mm-hmm.
or what is it called? The big
Uh,
one in.
the one that I went to is called Unleash the Power Within. He has a couple of different ones that he does like I think 3 or 4 times a year. They all focus on different stuff, but that's the one I went to. It was fucking amazing.
Was it? You weren't like, okay, am I gonna have to drink Kool Aid and like sleep with
Yeah,
a yogi or some shit?
I would do that too, but that's just for fun. Like
Just because.
that's
Is
just
he sexy, by the way? Is Tony Robbins considered sexy?
he is not my type, no.
Okay, because I feel like there's this thing where he's like, oh, he's big and he's strapping, but his face is huge. I
You
don't.
tell
This,
us
it's,
that, yeah.
yeah. His hat size must be enormous, and he's got big hands. So,
Mhm.
um, what did you think of it though? You obviously liked it because I saw you raving about it on social media.
So good. So okay, I just want to start with I totally get like a lot of people just assume like it's total like bullshit and like I said drink the Kool-Aid cultish whatever or just rah rah everybody's great whatever and
Right.
I
You
get
can do it.
yeah
Yeah.
exactly you can do it shit and I totally get it but I've been a fan for a while. I listen to his podcast. I like his like YouTube stuff and it is you can do it but the reason I like him is he's very much about like personal responsibility. That's his thing. It's like you can do it but you gotta get your shit together and I love that so much. Like he doesn't bullshit about that part of it. Like yes you can control all these things, you can control your emotions, you're choosing to respond this way to things and I love that. I think it's true. I think a lot of people want to blame like oh I can't I could have that, but oh, well, that person's parents were rich or that person did this. And like, there's all the different things, but you have more than somebody else, like we're all very lucky that, where we are even now, we're not, there's so many countries where you have nothing, And so I think that's my favorite part is that he really focuses on like, you have to control your own life. So
Did you
I'm
did you get to meet him or talk to him, or was it just you were part of the audience?
15,000 people there. It was in an arena.
Oh fuck!
Yeah, it was 4 days, like 10-hour days. It was super intense, but it's so fucking good.
Did you? I mean, because you obviously did it for business, right? Like and life, I guess. But
Yeah, he goes into everything. That's why I love it because he'll go like we'll have an hour long talk where he's talking about like psychology of fear or whatever, like what's holding you back, how you think that if you're not doing something, it's usually because you're afraid of something. What are you afraid of? And so it's a lot of like exercises and journaling where you're trying to figure out what is that thing that I'm afraid of that even you don't really know about yourself. So we'll talk about the psychology of fear and like how that plays into your success and different stuff. And then it'll totally switch over and he'll be like, okay, now we're going to talk about like what are the benefits of hiring like a financial advisor over this other thing and get super business like just tax codes and shit like that. And then he's talking about like spirituality like an hour later where we're talking about like why charity is good for your soul and how it's real. And so he's like all across the board and has different speakers that focus on different things. So it is very like super positive and everything, but he also gets into very specifics like what percentage of things you should do for this thing and blah blah blah. It's like it's amazing.
Wow, I would have never. Yeah, I guess I was too judgy, which that's par for the course. But I just always looked at it like, okay, he's like, it reminded me of like a Joel Osteen or somebody else that you look at it and you're like, why are so many people? I guess if so many people buy into something, then I'm like, all right, it's got to be a cult. It's got to be something crazy, right? I don't know. That's just it's wrong. But then I watched the Netflix special and that was fucking amazing. I was like, all right, I get it now.
A lot of people don't like him because like he doesn't really coddle. Like that's his whole thing, which I fucking love. I'm like, yes, I have a thing.
Be honest.
I don't like weakness. I'm like, fuck that. But so he has this thing where like he was talking about how there was this girl that was crying about like basically he was gonna have a one-on-one, right, to like do this coaching thing or whatever. So she comes in and immediately just starts crying, my life and this and that, and things aren't fair. And so he just stood up and screamed, "We didn't start yet!" And she just like freezes up and it's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And he goes, "Oh, do you see how you could stop? So you can control whether you're doing that or not." And like just totally called her out. It was like, okay, now that you understand that you have control of your emotions, let's step back and like talk like people. And it's
Wow, that's fucking deep.
but I mean that's true. We can control our emotions. We choose not to.
That's deep. Hey, okay, I don't know who this Beast Gamer guy is, but uh, John wants to know. He said, "I'm afraid of clowns for real, but like to laugh." Did you think about that when you were like, "All right, stripping clown"? Did you think about the fact that there's so many people that are afraid of clowns?
No, I love the circus. Like that's like I tell you, I did costume design first, and so I've always loved the circus. Like I don't know if I can lift this up. Like I got like this poster that's like all clowns up there. It's
The one above the door or whatever.
yeah, it's like 100 clowns from the Circus Museum. Like the circus is my favorite place in the world.
Was that
So
a poster of Operation, by the way, also on the wall?
oh no, that's so I got like a bunch of shit there from that's Hayes Carl.
Okay,
He's a
that looked like the dude from Operation.
it looks like him, but it's got like a broken heart, blown paychecks, foot and mouth. Like it's like a
Oh, nice.
yeah. But that's the first guy that put me on main stage. That's the poster from that show.
No shit.
He had
That's
me
pretty
open.
dope.
Yeah.
He's you went first?
Yeah, I opened for it was because he's a musician, and so he did a show at the House of Blues, Houston and Dallas. Actually, funny, it came around. And so he had me open for both of the shows, doing a burlesque act, and it was my first time ever with like that many people because he sold out. So I guess that's it's like 1,200, I think, in Houston.
Yeah.
And so yeah, yeah, it was so scary at the time. And they didn't even say it was going to be a burlesque performer. So it was really quiet because they didn't know what the fuck was going on. So it was weird for me.
Now you obviously don't get like you're not shy or embarrassed. Do you were you at first? Because I can't imagine like taking my clothes off, and even if I had tassels on my nipples or a sock on my dick, I would still be like, I mean, no one wants to see me naked. Like, I mean, now you stay in shape, so obviously it's a bit different. But how nervous or embarrassed were you, or do you get?
I don't get embarrassed for that. That's so nothing to me. But you, so I don't know if you remember, but you saw when I was like first starting to go up and do comedy. That's when I got nervous.
What?
Like that's when I got. It's so much different to like talk to people. That is the silence is just hurts my heart when you're bombing. It just hurts so bad. That's hard for me. The
There is no bombing in burlesque, right? Like you're just like, all right. I mean, can you bomb in burlesque?
I don't know that you can bomb. You can definitely perform for audiences that did. Okay. I know we've both done this before, where you've done comedy, but they didn't tell the audience that a stand-up was going to be on, and it sucks.
Yes.
Yeah, like me and Mungle did a fucking fashion show one time. They didn't say.
No.
Oh, it was so bad. It was
Oh
so fucking bad. So that can happen with burlesque, and that sucks because people don't, I mean, all of a sudden you're like, here's a stripper. It's fucking, I get it. It's weird. It's weird for everybody, but it's extra sucks because like the women sometimes, if they don't know what's going on, can get like really like judgy and stink face at you, and you're like, yeah, I've still got to take my clothes off even if you hate this. And then
Mama's got to get paid, bitch. So deal with it.
and then like the guys are getting weird and they're looking at the floor because they don't want to get in trouble for looking at you, and so it's just so awkward. So you just have to like lean into it and be like, yeah, this is weird. I know. Yeah, this is fucking weird.
So you can bomb as a stripper. That's fucking. I would have never guessed in a million years that a good-looking woman could bomb taking her clothes off.
Yeah, if they don't expect it, it's fucking weird.
Well, I mean, I can see it like at an old folks' home if they're like, "All right, we got some entertainment for you," and you come out in a clown outfit and get all the way down to tassels and a g-string, and they're like, "What the fuck?"
Say that, but old folks' home would be like the best place to do it because it's more like they remember. That
like
was
vaudeville and
that was their entertainment. That makes sense to them. Like current people or younger people, you have to explain what the fuck is going on.
you're like, it's not really stripping, you dumb fucks. It's
Mm-hmm.
more like, yeah. No. Now, okay, let's go back to honeymoon pie. And what's first of all, what's the best burlesque name you've ever heard?
KiKi Maroon.
Now, okay, well then tell me what's the meaning behind key? Because I get honeymoon pie. I mean, it's a play on words, right?
It's there's not like a like an app or like there's not like a process to the names. It's
Is it like when you're on Facebook and they're like, here's your rapper name. If you were born in May, it's Lil. And then if you were find your the day, oh, I was 29, so it's Lil Weezy. And then like find your last name.
no,
You don't.
no, it's not that. It's there's power in names.
Okay.
There's a lot of power in it, and so it's the idea behind it is that you're you, but who would you be if none of that existed? You know, 'cause it's actually kind of a Tony Robbins thing. Like you have these stories and these beliefs that are all like built in your head based on like what you grew up believing, what your parents told you, what your friends told you, what your partners or your exes or whatever. All these things become just facts and reality. You just accept these things without question. And so the idea of having a different name is that like that person doesn't, if that person didn't exist, who would I be? You know, is that person sexy? Are they funny? Are they shy? Are they coy? Are they flirty? Are they like super like scandalous? Like what is that person? And giving that person a different name then gives you the ability to like a lot of people at first you're playing that person and it's easier than to go on stage because it's not Barry on stage, it's Chi Von Big Crotch or whatever.
Who is my
But
favorite, by the way? I love old Von Big Crotch. She's great, or he's. I don't know what he is.
so so that's what it the idea is to have a different persona that like you are choosing to be, but as tends to happen to most performers that like do it more than as a hobbyist, that stops being like a persona and it's just is you and slowly becomes the you that's like no longer like it's confident because you know with performing you tend to become more confident and it changes who you are.
I was gonna say this sounds a lot like when you first start doing stand up. When you first start doing stand up, you don't do jokes about yourself. Most people go up and do dick jokes or airplane food jokes or they don't talk about themselves and their experience and who they are because if the audience rejects a joke about airplane food, then they just don't like airplane food. But if I go up and tell a story about me and my childhood and something I went through and they reject it, now they're rejecting me.
Yep.
And so,
Oh.
yeah, and so you that's when you learn. You'll hear about comics finding their voice and letting you into who they are.
Mm-hmm.
It's so scary to be like, oh, this is me, and if you don't like it, you don't like me.
You don't like my essence.
Yeah, you just fucking don't like me, and that's scary.
It's super scary. And you know, I've actually you told me this and I've told several people about this before. Back when you used to drive me and Andy Huggins to the joke joint for
Mm-hmm.
open mic, more than once you told me, you're funny. Talk like you. Because I would go up and I put on burlesque voice because that's all I'd ever had at the time, which is like, "Hey guys, what's going on? Oh my god!" Like that's how I hosted the burlesque shows. It's very big.
Yeah.
I'm already a big person, but it was like, meh. And so you kept telling me that the way you're talking right now in this truck,
Yeah.
talk like that. And I was like, what are you talking? Like I didn't understand until honestly, even just the last couple of years. Oh, now I'm me on stage. But it took so long. I didn't get what you meant.
Yeah, it's crazy though, man. People don't understand that because people consume entertainment and they don't realize that there's a very large human factor. And I don't give a fuck who you are. If you're an entertainer, there is a whether it's big when you first start, but there's always a piece of you that is worried about rejection. I don't care
Mm-hmm.
who it is. You could pick the biggest name comic, Kevin Hart, the biggest name actor or actress or whatever, musician. Every one of us is a little bit nervous about rejection. So it's why it takes us so long to just go up and be us. But the beauty of it is once you do, that's what the audience wants the most. It's
Yeah.
amazing, man. It's amazing when it happens.
It's so good. And like I actually so I I'm so lucky that because we had the Burlesque shows, it kind of taught me a different way because open mics are very like some are good, some are bad. You never know what you're going to get, and that's good. That's where you get the training and to figure out how to work different crowds. I need to go back and work on that because I had my shows. I had 200 people there that I was able to be myself in front of because they came every show. They knew me. So I,
Mm-hmm.
I was able to like become me on stage and know like it was going to be totally fine. And I got in between each act basically more time, more time, more time. So I learned things like, I don't know, I feel like I learned things like in a backwards way because now I'm like, feel so comfortable and I'm like, oh shit, okay, now I got to go to open mics and learn how to perform in front of 5 people because
Yeah.
that's where I freaked up.
That don't know you.
Yeah,
They've never met you, never seen you. Yeah.
I don't know how to act in front of like small crowds right now. And I mean, I want to say like champagne problems, but like I really don't. And I get weird and I've got to get over that.
It's very difficult, man. That's why I was so kind of glad that the way I came up was at the joke joint and doing their open mic with 3 people, 5 people, and even now if I do the improv workshop and some nights the open mic is not good, but I stay and do it anyways because the for comics anyways the real training is in that because
Mm-hmm.
then you learn about yourself, you learn what's really funny. And then when you go on the road, guess what? At the fucking Chuckle Hut in Wichita, Kansas, on a Thursday, there's 5 people in the fucking crowd. And the manager is watching because it's your first night performing. And if you eat shit and you don't handle it well, you've lost their confidence for the rest of the weekend. So it's really great training to do an
Yeah.
open mic for 5 people. It really is.
Yeah.
All right, we got a couple questions. So, by the way, Lisa Lyric checked in. Hi, Lisa. She's the best. Okay, Eric Resendez had a question for you. He said, "Can you ask her to try to explain to us guys? It's not a pile driver scenario again. Can you? Although that was amazing. We should do that. Like you should have a weekly sex move drawing
Yeah.
that you post on your Instagram." But he said, "Can you tell her to explain to us guys how we can?" By the way, put it back up on there. Put it back on the screen. The female actually looks like just a bigger dick. I don't know if you meant that or not, but like her head and then there's like a shaft of her body. It looks like another penis actually in the scenario.
Freudian issue with you that you think a woman looks like a dick.
No, you
I
don't see the I can't I'm pointing. You can't see me pointing at the it's like there's
know.
okay. I'm not
I think
getting
we're
out of this.
scary right now.
I need help. All I see is dick everywhere. All right, but Eric wants to know how do you talk to your wife about going to a burlesque show? What are some tips that you could say to that he could say to his wife or anybody listening to get their wives to
Oh,
go?
so no, our audience is like 80% women. It's mostly women. It's way easier. So that's actually funny. I've told several like single guys like, no, that's the best place to pick up chicks because they're like all having ladies' nights or like just all kinds of stuff, and they're drinking and they're watching girls take their clothes off on stage the whole time, so they're ready to take their clothes off because they're just having fun. It's just fun. We're just playing. Like it's the best. But yeah, you can. It's so easy. You just show her like, oh, there's these shows at like I said, the House of Blues. You're not inviting her to a strip club. You
Right.
know, like it's
Right.
they're like legit venues,
There's
and
a sword swallower, and it's a legitimate sword swallower, not a euphemism for
yes.
something. Yeah.
That's actually one of the reasons. Like, so if you show her the KiKi Maroon's Burlesque Lounge, what I focus on telling people is that it's like it's a Vegas style show,
Hmm.
and that's the easiest way to like to talk to or to invite your wife or partner or whatever to it. Is it's like it's a Vegas style showgirl experience. It's not a stripper show. It's not even a burlesque show. It's a Vegas style show.
That's smart. Yeah, and like you said, you can pull up Kiki's Instagram or go to the website, which is what again? Give the website. Give.
Maroon.com, but if you want specifically for the show that I do, it's called the Burlesque Lounge, so it's burlesquelounge.com.
Yeah, and then you can show her clips from the
Mm-hmm.
shows, and so she
Yeah.
kind of gets an idea of what to
Ooh,
expect.
you can trick her
Oh
and
no.
say, no, I'm just saying, because we do always have a stand-up comedian, as you know, because it's been used
Yeah.
several times. You can say, there's this comedian I follow, and then pick whichever comedian is on the show, make it up, and say, oh yeah, he's going to be on this show. It's also like this Vegas show. There's like circus acts, there's dancers, everything else. We should go. And then, bam, you
Boom.
tricked her.
And then if she's mad, that's get a new
She,
wife because she's a prude.
she won't be mad. They're
She
fine.
won't be mad. It's not. It's amazing. I'm telling you, I had so many preconceived notions of burlesque and shows and all that. It's the best shows. And it really is true that it has a lot to do with you and how much fun you make it. And it's just you guys have to go. I'm telling you, if you've not been to a KiKi Maroon show, you have to go. It's so much fun. Now, I want to know because we kind of got off track a little bit, but I asked you about burlesque names. How did you said KiKi Maroon was the best. Why and how did you come up with it?
Well, it's the best because that's my name, and
It's not your real name though.
I got credit cards with that name on it, so it's
Do
real.
you really?
Fuck yeah, I do.
Did you get a name change? Because I know, and I'm not asking you to tell people what your real name is, because there's some fucking weirdos out there. But
Mm-hmm.
why did you come up with the name, or how?
Well, that's it. That's what I was saying. Like, it's not. There's not a system to coming up with it. It's just kind of like you just feel it, and I just felt it.
Really?
There's not no story, and I honestly, part of me feels like you should come up with a story because this is a question that I get a lot. There literally is not a story. I was just being silly, and I was like, oh, I'm a clown. My name's Kiki, and I'm like, what's you need a last name in burlesque, and so it just what is it called? The enunciation? Is that what it is? The whatever you call it sounded good to me, and so I'm like, well, that's my name now. There's not an interesting story to it. Sorry.
No. Hey, fuck. It is. By the way, John said, if he goes to a show, you have to bring the notebook and do the sex positions, the journal, the quarantine journal.
We're gonna talk about the fucking dead to me names that are in here.
I do want that. Can we get to the dead to me names? I really want to. Can you give me if I guess?
No.
Oh, you're gonna read them? Fuck it, read them.
I'm not gonna read them. Okay, one, it's not just dead to me names. It's a bunch of stuff. Okay, you know what? I am gonna read it. It's gonna get real serious.
Okay, cool.
You got guys listening. It's gonna be like so not interesting. Oh wait, I lost. This is a different page.
You gotta give me one name when this is over with. Just one name, because if they're dead to you, fuck them. What does it matter that you gave their name? Right?
I'm not going to add to the negativity in the world right now.
All right, do it for the views, Kiki. Do it for the gram.
No. But the idea of it, I'm not going to hold it. The idea of it is that if somebody or something comes up and I think like I can't handle him or her or this thing right now, like not with everything going on, I don't need them in my life when everything's fine. That's basically the summary of the whole thing. Like just because I had the ability to carry that like momentary ick doesn't mean I should. Like, I
Right.
don't need to do that. And so that's what this thing is. It's not just people's names. It's also things like an uncurated social media feed. Like I had to like hide so many people on Facebook because I was just getting angry looking at it. You know, there's just misinformation or fighting or negativity.
Or
Like I
or
need,
or getting together in groups and hanging out.
yes, I
I
can't have that. So
I'm
like things
I'm
like
with you. That's so good because look, I there's this is a little about me, and I'm not trying to make this about me, but in radio, you get a lot of fans and listeners, and they're amazing, but a subsection of those are fucking assholes. There's a maybe 2%.
I've seen you tweet like reshare things where like people are following you to hate you, and I'm like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
What?
And I used to really now when I read like we'll get a mean text and I'll read it and I'll go over the top with the reaction, but it's just because that's it's a rant or it's like I'm losing my shit on the radio. And sometimes I'm really angry, sometimes I'm not, but I feel like it's entertaining, right? When you're
Yeah.
because they're getting an insight into when because everybody does that. You see something, you're like, you fucking idiot, what are you doing? So I'll do that just to do it because everybody does it. But in reality, there is a small percentage of people that just want to be assholes, and it was so liberating to just start muting people and
Mm,
unfollowing people or people that post nothing but political rhetoric or whatever. It's exhausting.
it's so
Social
exhausting.
media, and what sucks is for you and me, it's a necessary evil. We
Oh
we
yeah.
can't do what we do without social media, so you have to find that balance, and I'm glad you're
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah, somebody actually asked like, "Well, why don't you just do like a friends only one?" And I was like, "No, I don't want like another job. Like I use this for work. I need it. I don't want a friends only one. I just need to like be smart about it where like I muted a bunch of people and also I'm doing a lot of where like I post and I walk away. I don't need to respond to everything. I don't need to do everything. It's like I can't. I don't have like the space right now with everything going on right now. I cannot carry that.
Here's what I
It's too
did, and this is totally up to you or whatever. But and I know that you use it a little bit different. What I did is my Twitter, my Instagram, my YouTube, I have a Facebook fan page. All of that is Barry, the stand-up comic, radio guy, TV guy, whatever. But my Facebook, my personal Facebook page, and I'll get friend requests every day from listeners or fans or whatever. And I feel bad, but I don't accept them because I keep it to just friends and family. And then if I have a friend that posts shit that just gets on my nerves, I just unfriend them. I'm like, look, it's nothing personal. This is just a fucking computer app, but I don't want to see your shit anymore, so I unfriend you. That way, because if we're all emo in this business, and we all get in our feelings at some point, and sometimes you want to just get on your Facebook and be a bitch for a second and be like, the whole world hates me. And what you don't want or need is the people that look to you to be funny and entertaining to be like, hey man, what the fuck is wrong with this dude? They don't want to see that shit. So,
But see, I'm so different because mine is full already. It's thousands of
oh
not friend
really?
like of fans. So like I I have occasionally gotten emotional and then afterwards I have to send up I'm so sorry.
I know.
Like because
It's
I do. Like that's not what they're there for and I know that.
Yeah. But just purge it.
So
That's what I did. I finally went through and purged it. And there's a couple of listeners that I'm friends with that are friends of mine on Facebook. But I also know that they're the type of person that if I do get emotional or say something that maybe is out of character for me normally, I don't have to worry about it. And it's
yeah.
it's nice. You need one of those, whether it's a Twitter that you um, only accept where they have to request to follow you and then you accept it or
Everything. I'll just keep everything inside me and let it eat me alive. That's just way easier.
don't do that. Listen, real quick, Eric Resendez wanted to know, are you Hispanic? That's a real Hispanic thing. I don't know what he was talking about specifically, but are you Hispanic was his question. Is she
Maybe the
Hispanic?
Paul driver. The Paul driver is very Hispanic. Um,
I mean,
but I'm mostly Hispanic. Yeah.
you're mostly Hispanic. Okay. And then John says, in quarantine, what's your favorite thing to do?
Oh, gee. Well, right now, what's like keeping my mind like sane is just drinking. Like I have a very small. I don't even want to call it patio. It's like a little square of concrete with a fence around it. But like that was one of the first things that I did when all of this was happening. It was I went out and I swept up the leaves and like set up the table out there. And so that's where I will go in the morning and drink my coffee and write in my quarantine journal. And I take my laptop out there and I work out there because I need some sense of like outside because I'm spending so much time in here that I have to break it up somehow. And that's pretty much the only place that I have to do it. And so it's become my happy place. Like this weekend it rained and I felt like shit
Do you
because
now?
I go outside.
It does suck. Now you obviously have to stay in shape for your job. You have to kind of watch what you eat, or maybe you just have, I don't know, a crazy metabolism. But you have to watch what you eat, huh?
I said I have super genes. I eat
Yeah.
a lot of shit.
I was. So what are you doing to keep up with your figure? Like you have to.
I am working out in like I've got a little tiny space here, but I am working out in my room, and that's helping also. Just to like, I think what do they say? It gets out your cortisol. Is that the like bad chemical in your brain?
That's why I have this gut. It's not because I eat too much. It's cortisol. That's it. It's not. It's not the fact that I ate a box of Nutty Bars in 2 days.
I'm just saying, even if you don't care about your body, it's good for your brain to work out
Oh,
because you get the chemical like out of your body. Like I think it's cortisol, the one that's the fight or flight one. Anyways,
yeah.
point is working out gets that fucking anger juice out of your brain, and I think we all need that right now. And so I have been really good about like every day ish working out in my
Okay.
room just to,
Okay. Let's get
I
back
thought
into the death journal.
like
What?
so I thought about Instagram living it, just like, yeah, well, here's me working out. But I'm like, a bunch of girls are doing that. I don't need to do that.
You should do that on your Patreon. Your fans would appreciate it.
My Patreon isn't like an OnlyFans. It's not like the ooh scandalous stuff. It's like that's where I get emotional. That's the one I
Oh,
have
really?
a sec. Yeah, I call it like my previously. I think it was previously private journal or something like that. Anyways, point is that's the one where I get like for real, where I'm like, I think I'm gonna be a failure. I'm crying right now because I'm scared. I get for real on that one because if they're giving me like money every month, they believe in what it is that I'm trying to build.
Yeah.
So I'm for real with them about those ups and downs.
That's good though, and I think people appreciate that. They want to know. They want the real you. That's why they're a fan.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Yeah. So
what's next in the death journal? Give me one more.
It's not the death journal. A friend of mine actually, she said it perfectly because I said the one section is like all the stuff that makes me happy, and then the other section is all the stuff that makes me upset. And she's like, "Oh, you're planting seeds and pulling weeds,"
Oh
and I thought that
wow,
was good.
that's outstanding.
So,
Well, give me one from the planting seed side.
um, do you ever listen to My Brother and Me?
No, I don't know what the hell that is.
Oh God, it's so good.
It's
It's
a
a podcast.
podcast. Okay,
Yeah, it's called My Brother and Me. It's like a comedy one. They're super funny. They're improv guys, I guess, but
I'm
it's
writing this
basically
down. Keep going.
they're so funny. There's three brothers. They say it's an advice podcast, but they give really bad advice. But
Oh,
like I said,
that's good.
they're improv guys, so like they bounce off each other so well. And so yeah, that's just one in here. It's like so frivolous and silly, and I love that podcast so much. So I'll put it on while I'm cleaning or doing other stuff, and like everything feels normal and fine and funny.
Really? Okay,
Hmm.
I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna. If it sucks though, I'm gonna message you and
It
be
is.
like, "This is fucking awful, Kiki."
It doesn't suck. It
Okay.
doesn't suck.
All right.
You'll
One.
like it. And just the business side of it, because I know you're hustling. You're always doing a lot of stuff. They tour, they sell out everywhere, multiple like in each city, multiple nights in like
Wow.
huge places. They have a huge fan base. They have a Patreon that's like thousands and thousands of dollars. They're on the Max Fun Network. They do merch of the month where people sign up just to every month get whatever they send them. Like they're
Damn.
doing it.
Okay. Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm gonna check it out then. All
Yeah.
right. Give me one more
Yeah.
from the
So
death side.
I can't. They're all names.
Give me a fucking name, Kiki. I'm not. I've had you for an hour now. I'm not letting you go until you give me one they're fucking dead to me name because they're gonna be dead to you anyways, Kiki. Pick
But
one that nobody's gonna know.
I don't want to. Let's just talk about sex again. I don't care about that.
Talk about sex again.
I don't want to be.
I don't want to talk about sex. I'm 45. Those days are behind me. I want to talk about hate. I am in the pocket for hate right now.
Oh, this is private. Let's talk about anal.
And good night. Okay, fuck it. Let's talk about anal. What's one tip? What's one thing that a guy could say to get his wife to try it? Where'd you go? John goes, wait, what the hell just happened? Well, yeah, look, you chose this chat was like a choose your own adventure. We could go down the road of hate. You chose anal. Well, that's
so okay. So I'm just gonna say this. I was talking. You were talking. We'll bring it all back around.
Okay.
So I was talking to my showgirls last night. And one of them is like way too in Reddit world, and she just like knows everything ever. And so for some reason, anal came up, and so I asked her like, what? So like the prolapse, like butts.
Oh.
So like what's okay? Because I didn't understand. Is that like some people genetically are born with that and guys are into that? Or is it that it's so like worn out from stuff happening that it happens and then guys are in like, why is that sexy? Because it looks so disgusting to me.
Wait. And okay, I was thinking of something else when you said prolapsed, because I'm Googling that now. Prolapsed rectum. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, don't look it up.
Why? I'm gonna share. Oh my God. What the fuck, Kiki? It looks like someone shoved a fucking avocado seed in their butt.
I said don't look at it.
Who's into this?
That was my question. I don't understand why guys are like, I don't think it's many guys, but it is like a subsect of a fetish, and I don't get it because it's so disgusting looking.
It's fucking awful. I mean, I know dudes are into anal and chicks too, I imagine. This looks, no. One of them looks like a pig snout. One of them looks like somebody on the chat goes, and time for headphones. Their wife's probably in the room. Look, we're gonna get you that's listening, Eric. We're gonna get you to experiment.
Not send. Okay, I thought you were gonna share your screen. So
that was fucking awful.
It's disgusting.
I'm not gonna be able to eat fucking peaches because you get to the seed. I'm not gonna be able to eat fucking peach for months now. Good Lord. Or barbacoa. Either one.
No, don't you do that to barbacoa. Don't you dare.
That's, oh man. Or filet mignon.
I didn't know if some people were born, if that was a condition, or if things happened to cause it. So I was asking her, like, hey, what's the deal? Because she knows all these really terrible things. And so she explained to me that it's when it's been stretched out so far that the elasticity wears out, but it has to be like horse. Like, it's like way stretched out, okay? Like, because a normal, like, no man's going to wreck you. Like, it's like props and shit. So the elasticity wears out, and so it basically just starts like, it's kind of like you're pooping your insides out.
Your butthole just falls out. You're just walking along.
And so,
like during or after, like you're like, oh, was that good for you? Hold on, my asshole just fell out. I'll be back.
And then it's like that forever.
What? You can't like. I guess you can't
put
can't get the toothpaste back in the tube, huh? What? You can't unring the bell, I guess. Wow. Well, you know, when I started these live chats, Kiki, people would ask me, what are they about? And I was like, there are no rules. We just go wherever it takes us. And tonight, we fucking went to prolapsed assholes. And I am going to, yes, John, nightmares tonight.
I didn't mean to. It just happened.
This was a conversation you and other females had?
Yes, I didn't know. I was interested in why men are so broken. I was like, why are they into that? Apparently, it's a what is the word? Oh God, what's that fucking word?
Disability?
You know what, guys? No.
You should get to park up front. If your asshole fell out, you should get to park in the good spots. I'm sorry. That's just, it's like, oh, Whiter, you don't have a limp. My asshole is in the passenger seat of the car. Okay.
It's like a demeaning thing. There's another word for that, but like basically like the same kind of like peeing on them or whatever. It's basically like, oh, it's that
degrading,
kind of thing.
Degrading, something like the degrade. Oh, okay.
Exactly. It's degrading of like look at what a dirty whore you are, basically, and so that's why they're into it. Which I'm like, what? Why is it so awful to like? Why? What is unappealing about having sex with a woman who wants to have sex with you? Why does it have to get like so icky? I don't understand that.
I'm with you on that because I don't have a lot of weirdness when it comes to sex, and I've never understood that. I mean, I don't judge people for whatever they're into because there's a lot of, as you know, there's a lot of weird shit you can be into. But I'm like, if whatever people are into, they're into. I might make fun of it, but at the end of the day, it doesn't bother me or affect me.
As long as it doesn't hurt any person who doesn't want to be hurt, then I don't give a shit.
Yeah. But there is some stuff where I'm like, I don't understand that. Like, that's, so you're telling me, yeah, like John said, BDSM. I mean, I don't do that. I'm not into that, but I get it.
Yay. Like, I don't.
Like, I'm not the kind of guy that's going to be able to talk dirty to you and then choke you and slap the shit out of you during sex. Because that would feel awful. I would be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
2 out of 3.
You're okay. Let's see what I said. I said choke you. Huh?
We don't have to say which ones. I just
2 truths and a lie. That's what everybody's doing on Facebook right now. 2 truths and a lie. I'm into getting my ass whooped, getting choked, and talk dirty too. I'm gonna guess. Well, I mean, we already went the pile driver route. I'm gonna guess.
that by the way, not BDSM.
Andy's still here, by the way.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, God damn it. So
that's fine. Problem. He's an adult. We're all adults here, Kiki. I'm going to go choking and talking dirty, too.
I love Andy, and I respect him so much. And so when I find out that he has, like, one time when we did, what's that Monday night, the one that Robert does at Axelrad? Anyways, the point is, me and Andy were both on the show, but I didn't know that Andy was backstage, and I said one of my like really dirty stories, and as soon as I walked back there, I saw him, and I go, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry," because like I love him, and I just have this thing where I'm like, "Oh man, he thinks less of me now."
You don't. Nobody wants to disappoint Huggins. Nobody.
I don't want to disappoint him.
But in true Andy fashion, he just in the chat goes, "I'll choke a bitch." Y'all, Andy is 70 years old. I'll choke a bitch. That is amazing. Oh my God. But was I right? Did I guess right? Choking and talking dirty?
When done appropriately, I think that both can be enjoyable.
The choking would scare me.
It has to be done the right way. That's the thing. If it's not done the right way, it's not okay.
Well, I didn't know there was a right way and a wrong way to choke somebody. I'm going to be honest with you. Because like,
wrong way. So you could die. That's the wrong way.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, I feel like that's, but like, is it 2 hands? If it's 2 hands, that's aggressive, right? Because then you're like, I'm going to fucking kill you. Fuck you, take the trash out. Then that's when you're just letting out, anger with your spouse or partner.
That's not
but
good.
Like one-handed.
It's not even really choking. You don't push like here where you're like,
on the Adam's apple?
Yeah. It's like a squeeze, not a push.
Okay, so it's like, are you trying to cut off the blood flow a little bit, like an MMA choke, where you're just trying to get you a little lightheaded?
I mean, maybe that's a thing. I don't know. I just always thought it was what is, like dogs hold each other by like the back of the neck. It's like a dominance thing. I think, right?
Oh,
I think.
okay. Now
I'm
I
sure
have seen in porn where a dude will be choking the female and then put his foot on her face and
no.
like stand like no, they're still doing it. Like he's still getting it. By the way, this is my did I feel like my
Did I?
did my screen
Did I?
freeze?
Yeah, you froze. Probably because
Okay.
you were doing something so awful.
Let me switch to my other camera real quick. This will be an easy fix here. This happened last night too. I've been trying to use this DSLR camera, and it dies on me. Huh?
I said, oh, that's why it looked cool. I was looking into those actually.
Oh yes, is this better? I gotta adjust my laptop a little bit. There's my
You
scene.
just see L.A.
Better?
Nope, I don't see your face. I just see blue square and then a circle in the middle that says L.A.
Really?
Maybe if I push this. Oh, okay, I had to push the button.
Oh.
Oh wait, but now I'm.
Yep. I lost you again there. Oh, yeah, and you're back. We're good.
We're good.
Now.
So wait, so he had it in her face, but was still fucking her? How is that?
Yeah, so there was like it was like almost like it was like a fucking weird game of Twister almost where she was on the bed, he was standing, and then like he managed to choke her with one hand and then get his foot on her face with the other.
So she was laying down?
Like she's on the bed, he's standing, right?
Was she laying down?
You know how like yeah, she's on her back, legs in the air. So think about this. If okay, it's female on her back, legs in the air on the bed, dude standing. Eric said do a drawing. I think Kiki's doing a drawing. So then he, think about if a dude, if he's standing, if he put one foot on the bed, right?
I got it.
Get a little more leverage. Well, yeah, that's totally it. But she's on the bed. That's it. That's it. Is that a thing? I mean,
what are the cops where they're like, okay, describe it to me? What did he look like?
This is a sketch artist. You're like a sex sketch artist. This is the weirdest game of Pictionary ever.
I got it.
Kiki is ahead. Eric got your drawing. John said, Barry, this is the best so far. Thank you, John. Kiki's amazing. This is why I want her on the show. She don't give a fuck. Now, is that a thing? Would you feel like, because you talked about dominance. I mean, some dudes standing on your face during sex, pretty dominant.
Face. I don't want any feet anywhere near my face.
Not a. Have you? So you're not a foot person. Have you ever been with somebody that was a foot person?
I think so. I think there's a spectrum probably because I haven't been with someone who claims they were a foot person, but I have had guys that normal sex, but like kissed them or like.
Right.
Like not like we're like.
So they wouldn't say they wouldn't say like, hey, I'm into feet. They would just like kiss your foot or something like that during sex. Sneak a little bit.
Which to me, I was still like gross, but like whatever they want,
Really?
I mean, I think it's kind of gross. It's feet.
I mean, it's to me. I feel like it's one of the ones you hear about the most as being gross and a turnoff to people. But it's like one of the more common ones that you also hear people have too.
Oh, definitely. I think it's the most common, supposedly weird one, but very common. I think it's just because they can smell so bad, and they're.
Well, you wash your feet, don't you?
Yes, but not always before. Like I don't sit and wash my feet before sex.
Oh, well.
Like, they were in shoes or like maybe if you were out, if you were like dancing, especially girls, you're in heels. So like your feet get sweaty and icky.
But see, dudes are into that. Some dudes with, some dudes with a foot fetish are into like, oh, do they stink? I'm like, bro.
Ew. Oh, no. No.
Oh, Lisa said it's humiliation. I guess the foot thing, is it tied to humiliation? Because there are dudes that are into that. So I guess it's a subset.
Okay.
Of being humiliated.
The dominating and all that stuff.
Listen, I'm not into that stuff but I will say once my clothes are off, I'm already humiliated. So I don't need the feet. I don't at that point I'm there.
So one of my showgirls, maybe Lisa knows about this, and let me know if she comments on this. One of my showgirls said that there's a thing called financial dominatrix. who basically just, the dominatrix is like, telling them that they're like, awful and doing whatever they want or whatever. That the financial dominatrix also is like, give me all your money, give me all your fucking money. And like, he will do that because I guess they want to be humiliated and feel like they, on some level, they don't deserve their money. So they just like give them their money. I am very interested in this as somebody who needs a lot of money for my dreams.
I'll do it too. I don't give a fuck. There's got to be gay dudes that need to be financially dominated or whatever. I'll do it. I don't give a shit.
You say that, but I feel like a lot of people say they would do those things and then wouldn't do it.
So wait, what you're telling me is
leather thong while you said it though.
I mean, is it private or is it going to be out on YouTube?
No, private.
Like, how much money does he have?
Totally private. You have to meet him in a hotel, put on a leather thong, hold a whip, and whip him while he
transfers all his money into my account.
Also in a thong. Like, this is sexual. You cannot convince yourself it's not sexual. It is. But he will also be like throwing money at you. Every time you whip him, he throws more hundreds at you.
No. I thought we were talking. No, I'm out on that. I know. Mm-hmm. What I thought is that I go, hey, you're a fucking pig and you have to transfer all your money from your savings account into my savings account. And then he does it. And I'm like, I'll see you next week.
Okay.
And that's it. I'm good.
That happens. Okay. So not actual cash. It is transferred. It does happen that way, but you still have to wear the thong. He still has to wear the thong and you still have to whip him to get it. But
I would do it over video chat. If we didn't have to meet, if I just had to put on.
He's paying good money. He wants you in the room.
He still gets to look at my good. Okay.
No, see, not gonna happen.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I'm too straight to meet a dude in G-strings and even if we're not gonna have sex and he's never gonna touch me, I could do it over video if he's a millionaire and I would end up with millions of my savings. But for like $500, no.
Asterisk.
Yeah. No. I'm not as gay as I thought I was when this started, apparently.
That's
not going to happen.
I don't know, because they'll say it, and I'm like, but really?
John Westling chimed in. I'm in. I'll whip that ass. I believe John.
I believe John has a lot of kids to feed. He don't give a fuck.
John would dock with the dude for $20.
Wait, let me draw it.
Dude, yeah, let's get a drawing of welcome, John Westling. Yeah, anybody that'll put his own underwear on his head and treat it as a quarantine mask would definitely dock with a dude for $20. There's no doubt in my mind about that. I'm fixing my laptop here since. Let me see this. I'm just all unprofessional, moving my shit around. Much better.
They're cheering about it.
That's outstanding. That's a good docking. So I'm told. That's a good. Now, yeah, this is what you're gonna be doing now in quarantine. Like, what'd you do this week? Oh, I drew. I don't know another move, KiKi. This is how boring I am. I know like missionary, doggy, and I'm out. You have already. Well, I brought docking to the table, but you have brought prolapsed assholes and the pile driver.
Okay, some things are just interesting. I wonder if I could do something. Sorry, because we're all in this place where we're like, okay, how can we monetize things if we have no income right now as performers?
Right.
If we could do something where people can. No, I shouldn't invite people to send me their sex positions.
And then you draw it. You totally should.
This is fun, but I always have to because of the burlesque and the stripping thing. I always have to be careful about what I invite into my inbox because also there's a lot I don't want to deal with, and I don't want to be like.
What if you did this?
Favorite things, and then I get.
Well, what if you just did when you start your online show? What if you just did the position of the week and you drew it, and you could start with the pile driver. This is your position of the week this week. And you draw the pile driver and put the name of it, and then
we could have everybody tell a story about the position.
The time they were pile drived.
Yeah, or if they don't have one, what does it make them think of?
Right.
Some people have
exactly.
memories. Okay.
Yeah, see, that would
Yeah.
make me think of watching wrestling when I grew up.
Yeah, and then we would get into the whole homoerotic system of wrestling.
Dudes in tights. Don't
Mhm.
make this gay for me. Don't ruin wrestling. It was my childhood, Kiki.
Yeah.
I don't need to go down the road and find out before I go to bed that I'm gay and didn't know it. I already backed out of whipping a dude for $500.
Okay, don't worry about that. You would know it by now. But like, no, it's not about it being gay. It's just really gay. But that's fine.
Wait a minute, it's not about it being gay, but wrestling is gay?
But no, I'm just saying it's fine though. It's hot. They're okay. They're super buff. They're wearing panties. I'm not gonna get into this whole thing because it's pretty hack, but you know.
Yeah, I don't know though. I don't know. It's a little disturbing though that you're basically one bad wrestling move away from seeing the dude's dick. That's a little unnerving for me. You like that, obviously,
It's
but
well,
they're also not. The most of them don't. They don't look like. Now, I'm not. I'm not well endowed, so I'm not going to sit here and point fingers because every time what's the saying? Anytime you point a finger, there's four small penises pointing back at you. I don't know how it goes, but there's no way you're getting me out in tights. But if I was hung like a mule, okay, then I'd fucking put some tights. These dudes don't care though. Some of it's probably steroids related, that it's all shrunk and they don't care.
they
Kind
don't
of weird though.
they don't pad it. Surely they pad it, right? Because they've got to have a cup or something for problems and getting hit, right?
Are you talking WWE wrestling or actual MMA fighting? Because
Oh,
in MMA fighting, they actually wear a cup.
I was talking about like WWE wrestling. Like, don't they like?
In the fake wrestling, no, just dick
Really?
and balls. That's it. Yeah, because they're not really getting hit there.
But you would think it would make sense because you could claim it was for protection, but really you could pad the fuck out of it and make it look better.
Right.
Which is
Oh,
smart.
I would be out there with a fucking Eckridge. They'd be like, oh my God, his dick has jalapeno in it. That's weird. I would definitely have to be padding the stats, so to speak. I don't know. They're brave dudes, but they don't care. I guess if you're making that much money. Um, I'm trying to catch up on the chat here.
Mhm.
Let's see. Yes, I was legit thinking about doing it. John doing something strange for some change. Not a surprise was Walt Walker's. Let's see somebody wants you to draw cowboy and cowgirl. Can you
Reverse,
draw cowboy?
reverse cow.
They just said John said cowboy and cowgirl.
Okay, well,
What the fuck is the difference, right? I guess cowgirl is reverse cowboy, right?
no. Wait, what do
Well,
you?
what's cowboy?
Well, I would think cowgirl would be just facing regular because reverse cowgirl
Right.
is facing the other way.
Right. Dude's on his back. She's sits on him, knees like in front. And then that's cowgirl. And then reverse cowgirl is she just turns around and faces the other way.
Yeah.
So what the fuck is cowboy, John?
Oh, I didn't hear cowboy. I thought you were saying. Okay, well,
But he said cowboy and cowgirl.
I got it. I got it. Don't you worry.
Okay. Jose said he only knows 3 positions. Tomorrow's show will be awesome with the texts. Oh boy.
Wait, what text?
Radio show. The text line on my radio show after tonight's live chat.
Texts are going on right now.
No. The live chat. Oh yes. Westling says wrestling is very gay adjacent. I do agree with that because of the tights, but I'm still don't know. I'm gonna have to Google cowboy at some point.
Wait,
Maybe I can describe it to you.
I'm doing it right now.
Oh, I still had the tab open for prolapsed rectum. That's
Oh.
God bless it. Cowboy sex position. It's just Jerry Jones in a fetal position. That's all. What the fuck is that?
Cowboy.
Is that a fucking horse?
It's a cow.
Oh my God, Kiki, that's not what cowboy is.
It's a cow, and the
Cowboys don't actually fuck cows, Kiki. Oh God bless it.
differ. Yes, they do, sir. They fuck cows,
What cowboy?
sheep. Not all of them, but they do. Some of them.
What cowboys are you hanging out with?
Some of them.
I'm trying.
Where did I hear that you would take the sheep and go up because then the sheep would try to like back away from the cliff and that's how you got them to like push back against it. That's how they do it. Did you not, is that kind of a knowledge? I felt like that knowledge, but your face is making me think it's not.
I have that is the first I have heard of this, and I am so fucking disturbed now.
It makes sense.
That is way worse than the prolapsed rectum at this point.
It's not. No,
yeah.
It's not.
I bet if we put up a poll on Twitter, what's worse? Fucking a sheep at the edge of a cliff or a prolapsed rectum? Because, look, you didn't say how you got the prolapsed rectum. You could have just, pushed too hard while you were pooping or having a baby.
No, we talked about it. It has to be like this big. Like something huge has to go in there. You have to have one. Like,
that's hemorrhoids I was thinking of.
Yeah. No. Different.
So you would have to. Ooh. Okay. You might be right.
I don't think bestiality is a good thing because we don't know for sure.
Wow.
Controversial.
What a profound statement. I don't think bestiality is a good thing.
Don't know for sure that the sheep doesn't like it. And so it's a little bit different because we know for sure that prolapsed anus is not happy.
You're so stupid. Are you telling me you're taking the side of a prolapsed anus, but you're like the sheep? I want to hear from some sheep first. You are definitely prolapsed anus, but you are
I'm not pro. I'm anti-prolapsed anus because it's sad. You're misunderstanding.
Oh, but you should be.
I'm more disturbed by the prolapse than by the sheep, is what I'm saying.
Really? I feel like if you had something in your butt that was so big, then you kind of get what you deserved. But a sheep is just like, hey, I'm going to be a sweater one day. And he's like, what the fuck why am I at the edge of this cliff right now?
I think I'm thinking about it differently. Okay. I would not want to be with a man who was into either one of those things.
Okay.
Those are both icky.
Okay.
But if I had to choose. If I had to.
Please choose prolapsed anus.
Sheep.
What?
Sheep.
Oh, I just woke up my wife. She's going to come in here and be like, what are you talking about? Jesus? We're just talking about Jesus, babe. And she was like, he's going to come back one day. And it surprised me. That's all.
We're talking flock.
Yeah, we're all Jesus' sheep, baby. At the edge of a cliff. And he's behind us. Oh, boy. Eric wants to know what's your Patreon, by the way.
Oh, it's patreon.com/KiKi Maroon.
All one word. KiKi Maroon.
Yeah, it's at patreon.com/KiKi Maroon, or if you go to kikimaroon.com, one of the menu tabs on the top has Patreon, and it has like info and links and everything also. And
all the money goes to sheep awareness. KiKi, thank you so much for doing this. You are the best. I love you so much. You're amazing. You're amazing at what you do. And like I said in the beginning, I admire you. And I thank you so much for joining. This was tons of fun. And I'm glad that you agreed to do it. Oh, what are you drawing?
I'm putting you in the quarantine under the good things.
Oh, the good list. Oh, you're not going to kill me. Fucking awesome.
The good list.
That's so great. Sweetie, thank you so much for joining me. All right, you take care. Stay sane. All right. Bye, everybody.